Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're working on zero-turn lawnmowers. No, we're not. But what we are gonna do, we're gonna take this rare opportunity that I have to have a bunch of cars in the shop, a bunch of different cars, with the engines out, which probably isn't a good thing, but that's where I'm at right now. I can measure the engine compartment, take comparisons between each car, all the measurements, and maybe try to figure out what engines will fit in the car and what engines won't. There's some questions around the Ford community. What engines go in what? We're going to try to get some answers on that today. Let's get started. What we're going to do today is look at 4 different cars. 1968 Mustang, 1965 Mustang, 1967 Fairlane, 1964 Fairlane, and in the super secret storage facility next to the dirty garage, a 1972 Maverick. Starting on the 72 Maverick, let's take a look at the frame width in the front, right where the sway bar is. That is right a little more than 26.5 inches. Top of the shock towers coming in right at 24.5 inches. Now I'm kind of curious, down here is where it starts getting tight. Let's take a measurement there. Right at the bend. We're looking at 21.5 inches, right before it starts bending tight. Widest part, the bottom of the shock tower, 22 inches. We'll go to the front. It is at 22.5 inches. The rear frame rail width at basically at the firewall, we're looking at 26.25. 65 Mustang, forward frame rails 27.5, rearward frame rails 27.5, top of shock towers 28.25, at the control arms 22.125, front of the shock towers 22.25, back of the shock towers 22.5. 68 Mustang, forward frame rail 27.75, rearward frame rail 27.75, top of shock tower 28, at the control arms 25.5, front of the shock tower 25, rear of the shock tower. 67 Fairlane, forward frame rail 28.75, rearward frame rail 28.75, top of the shock towers 28.75, at the control arms 25, front of the shock towers 25.25, rear of the shock towers 25.25. 64 Fairlane. Since the engine was in the car, I only have limited data, but I'll give you what I have. Forward frame rail 27.75, rearward frame rail 27.75, top of the shock towers 28, and at the control arms it's an estimated 23 inches wide. Now, what do all those numbers mean? Basically, that's your cheat code. It's going to allow you to figure out with your car and a given engine what you can fit in that car. The only thing you're lacking is the other end of the cheat codes, the engine widths. I'm going to get into that right now. Engine widths are as follows. For the small block Ford 8.2 deck engines, which are the 289 302 versions, they are 19 inches wide. For the small block 9.5 deck 351 Windsor, that one is 21 inches wide. For the 351 Cleveland, that engine's 23 inches wide. Moving into the bigger engines, the FE Ford engines, which is your 390s, 428, 427, 25 inches wide. And the 385 series, which is your 429, 460, that one is 26 inches wide. Those measurements of the engine widths are taken from cylinder head to cylinder head at the widest point of the engine. From there, using those numbers, you should be able to see which engine will physically fit down into the car. But you're also going to have to take into account engine mounts and headers or exhaust manifolds, depending on how you're going to set the engine up. Through the years, I've done a few different cars, particularly with my 67 Fairlane. I've had every engine in that car, an FE, a small block, a 385. I can tell you from my experience what works in that car. Obviously, the 460 and the 351 need special headers, but the FE was all stock stuff since it came stock from the factory. That was the first engine that was in the car. Moving on to the 351 Cleveland. What I did, you were able to use the stock small block motor mounts and frame mounts, but I used 70 Torino 351 Cleveland headers. I used the big tube headers for that car. At the time, there was inch and 7/8 headers, pretty big for Cleveland back in the 80s. So those fit perfectly, not one dent in those headers. When I moved to the 460, that was a 514. I had 2 1/8 inch headers in that car, and they were all Hooker Super Comps. Those headers were also from a 70 Torino, but there had to be some clearancing done in the shock towers to fit them. But overall, they fit fairly well. That was a header that went out over the frame rail, so you have to cut the inner fender out too. So basically, you can treat 66 to 67 Fairlane. It goes for 68, 69 Fairlane Torino as well, basically as a 70, I think probably through 72 Torino. At that point, they changed the chassis. All those cars shared the same chassis. So since a 70 Torino had a Cleveland and a 460, headers from those cars will work. Now you start getting into the 64 Fairlane, that becomes a little bit more tricky. I have known no one who has put a 351 Cleveland in the car successfully without custom headers. It will physically fit. The FE engine, as we all know, was put in the Ford Thunderbolt drag cars. There were some parts made through Kreitz Enterprises years ago to allow you to do the same thing to your 64 Fairlane. Cut the shock towers, put the frame mounts in for the FE engine mounts. But what I also found along the way was that you could use cast iron Ford manifolds without having to cut the shock towers. With the Kreitz kit, you had to use their headers, their mounts, cut the shock towers with their plates, and it all worked great. Some guys didn't want to do that and came up with a crafty way of fitting that FE in there without having to cut everything to do so. The rumor has been that guys would use these manifolds, 390 GT manifolds that were basically designed for the Mustang, Fairlane, and Torino to drop the 390 engines in with the shock towers. Now, goes without saying, you would have to use the 14-bolt cylinder heads because of the horizontal bolt pattern. Most 427s, a lot of passenger car FEs had a vertical pattern such as this. That would be the thing you'd have to look at to make this happen. Now, also I'd heard that possibly 428 Cobra Jet manifolds would work. So this is going to be one of those deals where I don't have full information on. Maybe you do, and if you do, please drop something in a comment and tell me one way or the other. That way I can let everybody know exactly which manifolds fit for the 64 Fairlanes if you're dropping an FE in. In the 68 Mustang, again, you can pretty much fit any of those engines into that car. There's plenty of room in there for the small block Windsor, small block Cleveland, and the FE obviously was a choice for that car from the factory, and a 460 will squeeze in there as well, although I'm unsure about header fitment on that application. Also with Cleveland's, not sure what headers would work in that car. The 65 Mustang, there it starts getting pretty limited at this point. You can get the small block 8.2 deck engine in there without any issue. I have seen guys put the 351 in there. They do make header swap kits for that. It gets tight, but it works. I had a 65 fastback that had a 408 Roush engine in it, and that was a Windsor-based engine, 351 Windsor-based engine. And that fit in there. It fit fine. Nothing had to be cut, but it got tight. And this brings me to the last car, the Maverick. It's the most restrictive engine compartment out of all the cars that we looked at in this episode. It's very narrow. The only thing you can really fit in that car is a 302, an 8.2 deck Windsor. You can drop other engine in. Mainly, I know for sure you can drop the 351 Cleveland in, but it's right up against the shock towers. There's zero room. And there is a header that's made for it by a company called Tubular Automotive. They've been making them since the 80s for that car, apparently still are. But talking to a friend of mine the other day, he had built one, which is kind of, I'd like to do the same thing with that Maverick, with the 351 Cleveland in it. And he said, in hindsight, if he had the means, he would have probably cut the shock towers a bit to get more clearance for that engine. So that tells you how tight it was. It was really no fun for him to have to change plugs or to get in there, adjust valves or anything. Super tight. So if you want to be able to maintain the engine fairly easily, just stick with a 8.2 deck Windsor. 351 kind of Windsor, same deal. It's going to be like the Cleveland. Similar. It's just going to be a little tight in there. Again, it fits, but no fun. Hopefully through this video, you were able to get the basic cheat codes, for lack of a better term, to figure out what engines will physically fit down in your car. Motor mounts, headers aside, you have to figure all that out. You can always do engine plates. That's a good way to get these engines in these cars, especially with the Ford frame rails. They're nice and flat, front and back, equal distance on most of them, and they make for a nice job when installing engine plates. If you have any questions, anything that you can add to this, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to know more information that I may not have been able to share for everybody that you might know. Share with me something about your car that you did a swap about that I didn't talk about in the comments. Love to see it. Once again, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.